The new tariffs announced by the Public Utilities Regulatory Commission, PURC, took effect from 1st January 2014. Electricity went up by 9.73% and water by 6.80%. PURC says the move is to reflect its determination to implement the automatic adjustment formula. Factors that influence the adjustment formula include price of crude oil on the international market, the cedi-dollar exchange rate of inflation, among others. In the studio tonight is the Director of Public Relations and External Affairs of the PURC, Nana Yaa Juantua. You're welcome to the studios of GBC 24 and GTV.
Thank you, Maurice.
Now, for my viewers who do not understand the automatic adjustment formula, can you let us into how the calculations are done?
The automatic adjustment formula is a tariff mechanism that seeks to change movements in the tariff every quarter. It is a tariff mechanism that is dictated by certain external factors, as you said, like inflation, like the exchange rate, like the price of crude oil, like the power purchase cost, the generation mix, and also the fuel mix. If I talk about the power purchase cost, what is it? The power purchase cost is the cost of the IPPs, or the price of the IPPs. Who are the IPPs? The IPPs are private businessmen or independent power producers who have invested their money to generate electricity, and their cost is embedded in a power purchase agreement that is signed with the distributor, that is ECG or any other distributor for that matter. So these factors determine the automatic adjustment formula.
And these are external factors.
These are external factors that nobody has control over.
The cedi keeps on depreciating against the US dollar, and that is a main factor that determines the price. So when we do projections, are we likely to see an increase as we go along?
It depends on how these factors move. The movement of these factors, whether it's high, whether it's low, whether it's stable, determines where the tariff will move to.
Right.
So now that we are seeing some form of increases in some of these factors, certainly we have seen an increase this quarter. When the next quarter we see another movement in the lower side, you see some lower tariffs. When it is stable, the tariff will be stable. So it depends on how these movements go, and that will determine how the tariff will go.
Okay, the automatic adjustment formula was put on hold for some time, and we are now back to the automatic adjustment formula. What went into that, and which one is ideal for Ghana? Do we compile the cost and bring it to Ghanaians, or we do the automatic adjustment formula?
That is a loaded question. The automatic adjustment formula was never put on hold. The automatic adjustment formula ran its course from 2010 to 2011. But there were times that we used to use some form of regulatory discretion to determine whether we should pass it on or not. The fact that we use regulatory discretion did not also mean that we did not gazette it. In using regulatory discretion, we would say that looking at the exigencies of the time, for instance, it may be after a major tariff review, then we say that, okay, it has gone up, but let's just gazette it and not pass it on to the consumers. Okay. And let's speak to ECG, VRA, all the utilities to find ways of making some money to do the work that they have to do. But now we can no longer use regulatory discretion, because the time has come where all stakeholders are asking that we should implement the automatic adjustment formula to the letter.
So from now, in every 3 months, there's going to be an automatic increase. Now,
there's going to be an automatic movement, which can be high, which can be low, which can be stable.
I've been speaking to some businesses, and they say that it makes planning very difficult, because in every 3 months, you're going to change the price of tariffs. How do you respond to that?
Yes, of course. Electricity and water are key components of the businesses that we do in this country. But the point is that since these factors are automatic and they are out there and you can see them externally, I think that businesses should watch how these factors go so that they can use them to plan. Because we do not touch it at all. It's not like the major tariff review where we interrogate all the costs, where we expect the utility service providers to bring in their input, where we expect consumers and stakeholders to give us their input through some form of consultative process. This one, we deal with the movement by these external factors. We plug it into our model, and whatever comes out of it is what we give out as the tariff. So what I would say is that what the PURC would advise is that businesses should watch these parameters. With time, we are going to publish these parameters as they go, as they move up, as they move down, as they stay stable, so that everybody would know where it is going.
All right. For the ordinary Ghanaian, you are increasing tariffs, but yet we're not getting value for our money. For instance, the day you increased the water tariffs, there was water shortage in where I live particular.
If there is a localized problem that has to be dealt with, you have to deal with. From the way you are talking, it means that you get water regularly, and that there was a problem that had to be solved. If you have any problem with your electricity or water, you have to report to the utility service provider to give you some kind of redress. If you are not able to get redress, then you come to PURC.
Right.
What we have noticed is that there is the need for us to advertise our numbers. And that's what we are going to do. We are going to advertise our numbers extensively. Notwithstanding that we've been doing a lot of complaints, we've been dealing with a lot of complaints. I have a letter here in my hand where a consumer has received compensation of 3,000 Ghana cedis.
And that's publicity for PURC.
It's not publicity, it's helping all of us, for consumers to know that if they have a problem, this is for the consumers, it's not for us.
Okay.
If you have any problem, your equipment has been damaged because of an outage, because of something that the utility service provider did, you can report to us and we'll make sure that you are compensated.
And how easy is that?
It is very easy, and we are going to even make it easier by advertising these numbers on radio, in the newspapers, on TV, so that everybody, the whole country, would know where to report to when they are not satisfied with their services with the utility service.
All right, thank you very much.
You're welcome.
Okay, so we've been speaking to the Director of Public Relations and External Affairs of the PURC, Yaa Juantua, and that was Business Live on GBC 24 and GTV. My name is Morris Ogbete.